had to do with the question of patentability of living organisms, and reminded me of a story. This was a real controversial issue early in my career at Eli Lilly. And the field was broken wide open, and the patent office agreed that they could patent living organisms because of a patent that was brought forward by a scientist by the name of Al Chakrabarty. And Al there established the precedent, then it allowed a lot of microorganisms to be patented after that. But the thing that this reminded me of was that before coming to Lilly, I was a professor at the University of Illinois in the microbiology department. And the first course I taught was a course in advanced genetics of microorganisms for PhD students who were in their final year of coursework. And Al Chakrabarty was a postdoctoral fellow at the university at that time, and he came up to me and says, I'm not taking courses for credit, but could I just sit in and listen and audit your class? And I said, of course, yeah, that'd be fine. Well, I'm going to go around the circle here and tie this back together. I had a son at that time who was about 3 or 4 years old when we were in Champaign. And I used to take him, and actually on later on until he was in about 3rd grade or so, but when I go into the laboratory on Saturdays, I would take him with me sometimes, and I'd set up a microscope with modal unicellular organisms that would swim around and dart. They would be attracted to light, they'd be repelled by chemicals and so forth. And I put Doug down, and he watched those. Well, years later, when he was in high school, I asked him one time, I said, Doug, what would you like to do as a career? He says, well, I would like to apply molecular biology to solve the problems of pollution in planet Earth. I said, yeah, that's really good. That's high school. He's got a very specific job description goal where he's going. Well, to make a number of shortcuts here, when Doug was ready to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree in microbiology at Cornell University out in New York, and he was not sure just what he was going to do. He was thinking about maybe go to work, maybe go to graduate school, and he missed all of the deadlines for applying for graduate school. And finally, the last week of school, he says, you know, Dad, I think I'd like to go to graduate school. What can I do? And I said, well, Doug, I'll call a friend of mine, Al Chakrabarty. And so I called Al. I said, you know, this is my son. He's on this knife edge, wanting to go to graduate school to learn molecular genetics of microorganisms. And what can be done? He says, well, we've closed admissions at this point, but let me get back to you. All right, have him send in an application. I'll get back to you. So Doug did send in his application. Al says, well, the money for students is all used up, but I do have some grant money, so I will accept him to come in my laboratory as a graduate student. I'll pay him out of a research grant. And that led then to Doug's career to today. He now is applying the genetics of microorganisms to solve pollution problems. And the current problem that he's been working on is fuels by fermentation, right? Worked on ethanol, a way to produce ethanol using fermentation technology, and then a way to create biodiesel using fermentation technology. So it all came around with this circle with a connection with the individual that broke open the patent field for patenting living organisms.